You're going to pay an ass-watering amount for games, bird.
Cucumbers.
Who cares? We're probably going into a recession. We need Mario Kart 8, right? You're going to pay $80 because, you need games. Who needs food? Who needs to pay their electric bill? Who needs to pay their rent? Who needs to pay their mortgage? We need a Switch 2 and Mario Kart 8. That's our priority. Nintendo, you're out of your mind. So the Nintendo Switch 2, it's a console. It's coming soon, and you can get it in two different variations. One will just have the console itself for $450, maybe. Let's just, the tariffs, don't talk about them. Don't talk about them. You just stress yourself out. And then they're going to have a Mario Kart World Bundle for $499. Again, maybe. Now, the interesting thing about Mario Kart World Tour is that if you want to buy it by itself, it's going to be $80. Again, this is in America money. $80 for one game. And that's not the only game that's going to be $80. If you want to get Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the Switch 2 edition plus Starcross World, $80. Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition plus Jamboree TV, $80. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition, $80. That's just $80 for games. We were already, people eyes were watering and their ass parts were puckering because this is a family show for $70. And Nintendo's like, nah, man, we're going to break the barrier again. We're going up to $80. We're going to $80. And what does Nintendo have to say about this? There's a lot of game there, so obviously it's worth it.
Jeez.
IGN actually interviewed Nintendo of America's Vice President of Product and Player Experience. I didn't even know that was a goddamn role. His name is Bill Trinan. And here's what he had to say. I would say it's less about strategy of pricing Mario Kart World. It's more just whenever we look at a given game, we just look at what is the experience and what's the content and what's the value. Mario Kart World, I think, especially as you see from Nintendo Direct, not to give you any hints or anything, but I did read your article this morning, and I think you had mentioned that you didn't find a lot to discover when roaming around. So I would say tune into our Mario Kart Direct to see maybe what you'll find out about that. But honestly, this is a game that is so big and so vast, and you will find so many little things in it to discover, and there's still some other secrets remaining that I think as people end up buying and playing the game, they're going to find this to be probably the richest Mario Kart experience they've ever had. And you'll have to be rich to afford it. Now, IGN also asked Trinan about games like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which will be $70. Say you're just buying a Switch 2, you didn't own a Switch, and you want to buy the Legend of Zelda games for the Switch, and you want to get the Switch 2 editions. Well, Breath of the Wild is going to be $70, and Tears of the Kingdom is going to be $80. IGN asked them, what's the deal? What's going on here with this? And this was Trinan's response. Well, again, what I would have to say is that we just look at each individual game, we look at the content and the value of the game, and then we say, what is the right price for this value of entertainment? What I would probably counter to some of that is really what you're looking at is for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, that's the physical price for somebody that has not bought the base game. For somebody who has both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, the upgrade packs for those are $9.99. And if you happen to be a Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack member, both the Zelda upgrade packs are inclusive within that membership, so there's no additional charge for those. But I think overall, our general approach is really just to focus on what's the content, what's the value, and what's an appropriate price based on that, which, here we go. It's like every developer and publisher out there now is going to be like, hey, what is the value of my game? $200? Oh yeah, we're going to just MSRP $200 because the game has a ton of content in it. What I'm fearful with this, and first off, could we talk about the fact that at best we're probably going into a recession, and it's probably not just going to be in the United States. Let's just keep it real. And just a recession, I hate to say it, maybe wishful thinking. Not going into politics, I'll leave it at that. So if people can't afford groceries or food or God forbid they lose their jobs. You know what? I'm just going to buy Mario Kart. There's value there. Things are tough as it is in the States. Buying groceries is still very expensive. Doing basic things is still very expensive. People have priorities first to keep their lights on, to make sure that the heating and cooling are working in their homes. They have to pay rent. They have to pay other bills. And if you're telling them that games are going to cost $80 and now we're hearing with GTA 6 it might cost $100, that's insanity. That is insanity. I don't care how much goddamn content is in the game. That is out of control. I mean, if you think about it, and this is pre-tariff pricing, I have to bring it up again. Things may change, and the Switch 2 may become more expensive. You buy the Mario Kart World Tour bundle, okay? $500 before tax. You want to maybe get Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and you never had it before, $80 there. You may have to get a controller. You may want to get a Pro controller, or maybe, I hated the way the original Joy-Cons in the original Switch when you tried to actually use them as a gamepad. So you may have to buy the Pro controller if you don't want your carpal tunnel to kick up. Again, you don't need to. I get it. But do you realize how you're going to be $700+ even if you just buy an extra game and a couple accessories with it? And that's just me just spitballing numbers right now. It could be more too. Just to play a couple games and have the system, it's getting out of control, man, and people can't afford it. And that's why when you saw them doing Nintendo Directs, you saw in Nintendo's comments, lower the price. The game prices are out of control. Lower the price, lower the price, lower the price. And here we are. Wishful thinking is that the two bundles of the Switch 2 will remain at $450 and $500. And hopefully the games won't go up in price too. Because it's just going to get to the point where you're going to price out a bunch of consumers simply because they can't afford your games. Yes, games are fun, but they aren't a necessity. Keeping your lights on, I know I'm repeating myself, getting food in your house, you're doing other things that are necessities. Paying your phone bill is a necessity. Playing Mario Kart World Tour is not. Now, am I saying that this means doom and gloom for the Switch 2? No, I do think it will sell well. And that's also my concern. Because if we set this standard where games just keep going up per game, $80, $90, GTA 6 again, $100, you don't think the rest of the industry is going to follow suit and say, hey, we're offering a lot of content, so we could charge $100 a game? And then that'll be the standard. $100 across the board, unless it's indie games. This hobby is getting very expensive, man, and it's getting very frustrating. And to see Nintendo just sitting there saying, hey, we're basing it on what content we offer. You know damn well, Nintendo, you're opening up the door to make $80 games the standard for the entire industry, and it's just going to get more expensive from there. Hey, if you watched the whole video, what the hell are you doing? You're not subbed yet? Click that sub button. I live stream here all the time. We have a good time. Make sure to become a subscriber. It's free. Click the button now and hit that bell too. Be a man.